Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to What She Said. Tonight is the daily 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time podcast for What She Said. So, we give y'all a few seconds to get in here, take a sip of my hot cocoa, and we gonna get it. Great topic tonight. If you notice the thumbnail, Shiloh Sanders. And not just Shiloh Sanders. Shiloh Sanders and the NFL draft. So I'll give y'all a few seconds to come on in and we can get going. I hope y'all had a wonderful day. I did. No complaints because it wouldn't do any good anyway. But today in Atlanta was beautiful. I love Atlanta's weather. During the day, you can go outside with a t-shirt on. At about 5 o'clock, you need a jacket. And at about 8:30 or 9 o'clock, you need a coat. But I love the sunshine and the lack of 90% humidity. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just waiting for y'all to get on in here. Get on in here. I said some of y'all keep saying I'm your auntie or your auntie, depending on where you're from, your geographic region. You might say auntie, auntie. So if I'm that, get in here so your auntie or your auntie can school you. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, you live in DC. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for letting me know where you are. We've started a tradition of dropping your area code if you're new to the chat. What's the area code in DC? I want to see if I can guess. Is it 202? Drop the area code for DC. I know a 202, I think. 212, I think, is New York. 202, I think, is DC. So, Lisa, I'm waiting on you. All right. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. The topic of conversation tonight, Shiloh Sanders. Let me know if y'all hear the music in the background. I want to make sure it's not too loud. If the music is good, thumbs up. If it's too loud, thumbs down, and I'll turn it down. Okay. So, the reason I want to talk about Shiloh is I keep hearing and seeing comments. Okay, Lisa, it is 202. Okay, shout out to the 202. Welcome, welcome. It's too loud. Okay. So, okay, I hope that's good. So, hey, who is that? Wasam? Welcome, welcome. Jack, welcome. I have work in the morning. Okay, well, hopefully we won't keep you no late, too late. Yeah, we don't go past hour 2 now. One day we did go 2 hours. That was something else, but it was fun. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's the stream about Shiloh Sanders being drafted into the NFL and why there's so many people that think that he's not even getting drafted? Or if he gets drafted, they think he's going in the last round, like the 7th round. I'm like, no. So that's what we're talking about. All right. So you're from Brazil. Okay. Welcome from Brazil. Creator. Okay. Is that Portuguese, Spanish? Okay. Creator day content. Okay. Content creator. Welcome from Brazil. Okay. I'm going to get started. Okay. So hold on one second. I did a video about Coach Prime going to the NFL, right? I know y'all have possibly heard people saying that Coach Prime is going to the NFL. And in my comment section under my video, a lot of people are talking about it, but this comment came from a viewer on my channel. It said, Coach Prime is going to the NFL. He's trying to make sure Shilo gets drafted. I'm like, Shilo getting drafted regardless of Coach Prime going to the NFL. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't think people really know how intriguing and people are looking forward to him in the NFL. I don't think people understand how intriguing of a prospect that he is. And we're going to talk about why. Okay, first and foremost, if you ever watch Shilo play, I'm going to focus on, I know Jackson State. He was at South Carolina, Jackson State, and 2 years at Colorado, right? So in 2019, Shilo was an All-American. Now, you don't just get to be an All-American. Okay, so he was an All-American in 2019. Fast forward, to 2023, he was labeled as the hardest hitting safety in college football. This just last year, 23. We just hit 25. So in 23, he's the hardest hitting safety, right? So why would you think the hardest hitting safety in 2023 wouldn't be in the 2025 draft? There are players who have been drafted on a stellar, say, junior year, and also, just the okay senior year, So Shiloh runs a 4.5. I think he runs a 4.54. Now that came from, that's not the combine because it hasn't happened yet. If he still runs a 4.5, he's definitely getting drafted. When we watch Shiloh play, the one thing that we like about Shiloh's play, tracking down receivers, stopping the run when they're stopping the defender from getting into, or the receiver from getting into the end zone, the hard hits. See, there's no metric for hard hits. There's a metric for speed. There's, tackles. There's all sorts of things. But he checks off all the boxes plus a box that doesn't exist. The hardest hitting safety in college football. Now, in 23, Shiloh had 67 tackles, okay? That's a mix of solo tackles and assists, right? I think he played 11 games because he missed one game. That was in 23, the year he was the hardest hitting safety. So this year, you probably didn't hear him refer to that because he missed 3 games due to a shoulder injury and like a broken forearm. He missed 3 games, but guess how many tackles he put up? Playing 9 games. 67. The same number he put up in 23. So you know what that means, right? He's on an upward trajectory. If he hadn't got injured, if you just want to say he averaged 6 tackles per game, he missed 3 games, let's just say 5. 5 times 3 is 15. Put that to 67. That's good. Nobody's not drafting that. Like you're drafting somebody that makes 67 to 80 tackles. You're doing that. Whether it's assist or solo, whatever. You're drafting that. And if they were the hardest hitting safety before they got hurt and still managed to put up 67 tackles after missing 3 games, yeah, I'm drafting. Matter of fact, I'm drafting high second round, low first round. Now, the reason why I say that is because y'all have heard the draft order. They've already been trying to put people in slots. You have Cam Ward first to the Titans. You have Shador second to the Cleveland Browns, which will likely end up in a trade to Vegas or Dallas or somewhere. And then you have number 3, Travis Hunter, right? So I think Travis's rating might be like an 89 or 91. Shiloh is in 81. Travis plays on both sides of the ball. The beauty of Shiloh, he's versatile. He can play cornerback or he can play safety. And what's even better, he can be drafted by any team. Any team out there could draft him. So if there's 32 picks in the first round, double it for the second round. So I say he's probably going to go around pick number 40. If he doesn't go low first, like number 30, 31 or 32, I think he's going to go around number 40. High in the second round. I was doing my research. Shiloh is listed as one of the most intriguing defensive backs or safeties or have a corner, whatever position he gonna end up playing in the NFL draft. He has speed. He has the size. He definitely has the stamina to chase down receivers game after game after game. Interceptions, forced fumbles, pass breakups, all of it. He's an exciting player. Why would I not draft that? So I'm wondering if I'm not wondering if they're hating. I'm not surprised that they're hating because he's a Sanders. And what people don't want for this NFL draft, they don't want Coach Prime to get what he wants. And that's both of his sons on the same team and both of them drafted on the same team. Remember how he said to Antonio Pierce, can you draft both of my sons? That's what he wants. I'm not sure if that's what they want. And because I see, Shador is known as grown, right? Shador is known as grown. So he's mature. I I think if he went to Vegas, I think, if his brother and they went to the same team, cool. But he doesn't need that. And Shiloh doesn't need it either. Shiloh is 24. Experience, maturity, his character, he's comfortable in his own skin. Shiloh is one of those people that can pretty much, I heard his dad say this on Deion's Family Playbook a long time ago. Shiloh can do anything he wants to do. He's a pianist. He makes music. He just dropped an entire album. And his whole family didn't even know that he was working on it because he's a homebody. He just said it recently, I'm a homebody. That means he's comfortable in his own skin. You want that in your locker room. You want that type of maturity and experience in your locker room when you're drafting 21 and 22-year-olds. So Shiloh being drafted at his age, at 24, with his speed to any NFL team is a bonus because it's almost like he's a 3, 4, or 5-star coming from one university to the other via the transfer portal, and you can just insert him, just like we saw LaJohntay Wester. LaJohntay Wester transferred in, balled out. Shiloh transferred in from Jackson State, balled out. So him going to the NFL will be the same thing, except for he's 24, he has speed, he can play corner, he can play safety, and he can be drafted by any team. Put on top of that his personality, his creativeness. He's never had an issue in the locker room. He knows how to manage his personal life. He doesn't have any relationship issues, that could take away his attention. He has boundaries. He's been successful for a long time, and he knows how to conduct himself. And, people like, oh, well, he got those penalties. I'm like, guys, we not out there on these field. It was Colorado. I didn't see him get those kind of penalties at Jackson State. Colorado is one of those teams that got cheated. I'm not making excuses for him. What I'm saying is, if you look at his entire history, if he didn't have that at Jackson State or South Carolina, then that tells you it was something about what was going on at Colorado. Like, there's this one play, Shiloh got the penalty, but the guy on the other team, the opposing team, tripped Shiloh. And yeah, he clapped back. I don't even know if the NFL gets down like that. They say the NFL is different. Some people say college is harder than the NFL. The mindset in the NFL is different. Everybody has made it to that level. They're trying to maintain or elevate. They're not trying to get hurt. They're not trying to, they're not trying to hurt the other person, So the mindset is different. So I think Shiloh will be a high 2nd-round pick. He has too many assets, attributes, versatility, maturity, experience, speed, hardest hitting, So I just don't see why people, would say that he's not getting drafted at all, or that Coach Prime would go to a team, leave Colorado and go to a team so he can get drafted. No, that's not the case at all. And then you have this week, last week, Coach Prime, or earlier this week, Coach Prime was on $1 Million Worth of Game. And I watched the interview. It was great. Some people said Coach Prime's suit jacket was Tennessee blue because I guess they thought maybe he was considering Tennessee. I have not heard that. But somebody, posted, oh, Coach Prime gave Shiloh a reality check, by saying, Shiloh gonna have to work his butt off. I'm like, I don't think that's a negative reality check. I think it's true. I think, he's gonna have to he's 24, not 21, so that makes a difference. The speed is different. Even though he's fast, he still has to compete against that. And then at the same time, Coach Prime's not gonna be there, when your parents around, you know how your parents are. Hey, make sure you get there on time. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Coach Prime's not going to be there for that. And Coach Prime has been around Shiloh, coaching him for a really long time. But he went to South Carolina State, and he was fine there. He only left because his dad went to Jackson State, so he wanted to play for his dad, which makes sense. So I say high 2nd round. Y'all tell me what you think. I have no idea why people are saying, other than hatred, why he wouldn't get drafted at all, or why he would go so low in the 7th round. So I'm asking y'all, I'm opening it up to y'all. What do y'all think? It says he's a threat. Yeah, he's a threat. You mean in terms of being a great player, an asset to a team? Is that what you mean, Lisa? It said no one wants a mid 24-year-old. False. A mid 24-year-old with 4.5 speed and hard hitting ability and 67 tackles after missing 3 games. Yeah, they do. That's called experience. That's just like getting a player out of the transfer portal who's getting his master's, which is what Shilo did. You plug him into the game, he's probably 22, 23. He brings that experience to the team. Yeah, people do want that. It says, what's for dinner? I was just thinking the same thing. I like your hair. Thank you, Gerald. Lisa, yes. Okay, so that's what you were saying. Essentially, he's a threat. Absolutely. And when I was doing my research, to look at one of these sites, and it's really good. Y'all should check it out. NFLDraft.com. They rate all of the players. They have a ranking for the draft. They have numerical rankings, like 81 out of 100. And, the highest is 100. I don't think nobody had 100. I don't even think, let me see if I can look. I don't even think Travis was 100. Travis was like low 90, maybe high 80s. I looked at like CD Lamb speed as a receiver. He runs like a 4.5. So I'm like, yeah, Shiloh's speed is right there. So, if he does well in the combine, if he can, in my opinion, shave off and instead of like a 4.54, maybe do like a 4.51. Yeah. So it's NFLDraftBuzz.com. They have really good, really good metrics. And, they break down, the pass breakups, the interceptions. When he came to Colorado, he did all of that. He missed 3 games and still had 67 tackles. He had an interception. I think he had one touchdown call back. I can't remember. But to me, the most exciting touchdown he had, I think it was a forced fumble, was the Texas Tech game. When that's what you call football IQ. The ball had hit, had been popped out of the quarterback's hand. Nobody else ran to it. Shilo knew this ball is still in play, got it up and ran to the end zone. If you go back and look at that film, nobody else is trying to get that ball. Experience. Football IQ. Yes, teams want that. All right, so I'm going to read some of y'all's comments. Let's see. It's too loud. Thank you, Jack. I turned it down. I don't even know if y'all can hear now. It says, oh, no, quieter. Okay, so I mean, it's not even on now, so I think it went off. And then it says, what is the stream about? We were talking about Shiloh. I'm just going through y'all's comments. I don't understand what you're saying. Oh, I'm sorry. I think that's a person from Brazil. Yeah, I probably don't speak the language. And he's a hard hitter. Exactly. You think NFL teams don't want hard hitters? You think what we missed about Shiloh when he was out for 3 games, his ability to track down the receiver and prevent them from scoring. People's like, he missed some tackles. I'm like, he also broke his arm and came back several weeks early. He should have been out 4 to 6 weeks. He should have been out. The trainer, Lauren, she said, he healed quickly. He's coming back. And people were like, oh, in the Kansas State game, I think. They were like, yeah, he was still hurt. I'm like, okay, you have to take all that in consideration. And a lot of people don't understand that the NFL looks at the way they practice. And Coach Prime has instilled in them the way you practice is the way you're going to play. And that's what the scouts are out here every day watching y'all do, practice. So you got to go hard at practice. Y'all have never heard anybody say anything about Shiloh being a slacker. Not ever one time. And the fact that he overcame adversity after not just getting hurt, getting dragged. Like he got dragged by social media, who basically was just sitting there waiting for something to drag him about, basically, saying he's trash and stuff like this. And his dad said he dug in. He spent countless hours watching film, working out, conditioning. He was gone for 3 weeks, and it's like he couldn't keep up with the team. He didn't even realize that. He didn't even realize that until Kansas State popped up, and, he had to go back to the drawing board. And to me, it made him better. When Shiloh came back, I never forget that quarterback blitz on Arizona. Oh my, or Cincinnati, whoever was in red, I think. Um, yeah, that made his highlight reel. Now you talk about a hit. I said to myself, if the NFL hired him just to do safety blitz alone, I'm like, he would have earned his money because he takes these quarterbacks down. And people keep saying, oh, he doesn't wrap up. His arm was broken. He does wrap up. Otherwise, how can you do a blitz on a quarterback and take it down without wrapping up? So people, I think, are just looking for something negative to say. So we're not concerned about the haters. I think what's getting ready to happen or what's starting to happen is, Shiloh wears number 21. Coach Prime wore 21. Shiloh will be going into the NFL. We don't know what team. Like I said, he could go to any team. He could play corner. He could play safety. But his father, his famous father, the legend, I think people are going to try to hold Shiloh under a microscope and compare him to Coach Prime. And if they see his speed isn't the same as Coach Prime, then they're saying he's not going to get drafted. If they don't think he can play both ways like Coach Prime did, they don't think he's going to get drafted. So I think they're holding him to a microscope and under a lens that has Coach Prime under the lens, under the microscope, and they're trying to fit Shiloh into that. He's his own person. He's his offspring. He's not him. And he's not his father. Let me say that. Hardest hitting safety, college football. Overcame adversity. Came back better than ever. Balled out. In fact, Shiloh, I think in the Alamo Bowl, because I went, I think he was out there very intense. Matter of fact, he was one of the last people off the field signing all the autographs for the players. In that game after Kansas State, how they was hating on him, I think it was the Texas Tech game, he went up to his dad and he said, well, they was hating on me. Should I go over there and talk to them? He said, yes. He said, they're going to always hate you. I'm one of the hatest people out here. Go over there and show them some love. You see? When he didn't know what to do because these same people had dragged him, coming back, looking for, autographs and, like their headbands and stuff like that, gear. He, instead of him just going, I'm not talking to them, he asked his dad, what should I do? He was like, because they was just hating on me. And I know it made him feel bad. But he owned up to it. He said, it's the worst game of my life. And his voice cracked. You could hear it. He said it was the worst game of my life, but he dug in. He did what needed to do. You think the NFL not going to pay attention to that? That's what they want. Resilience, hard-hitting resilience, versatility at position, speed, maturity, experience, great character, no locker room issues, no off-the-field scandals, no relationship issues. He can focus. So, high second-round pick. Just because I know they got like several other people in front of him, but I would not say the range. The range, late first round, high second round pick for sure. But I say right around number 40. So y'all let me know your thoughts. What does it say? What? So Lisa, thank you. Thank you for your commentary. My next video will be about Kaden Salter. That young man, I think, just might bring another Heisman to Colorado. Does anybody have any early thoughts about Kaden Salter? Let me know. Oh, I need a moderator. I need a moderator. Because y'all be tripping in these comments. Let's see the latest comments. He's a threat. Yes, he is. He was playing with the broken arm for a long time. Yeah, he was. He came back, and I think he insisted that he come back. I know the trainer Lawrence said he was supposed to be out for a minute. Like maybe 4 to 6 weeks. He missed 3 games. So what is that, 3 weeks? That's 3 weeks. Maybe there was a bye week in there. I have to go back and look at the calendar. But if there wasn't a bye week, he missed 3 games with a broken arm. Now, a broken arm don't heal that fast. And then if there was one bye week, he missed 4 weeks. And she said he should have been out minimum 4, max about 6 to 8 because of the broken arm. But he came back. He had a pin, I think, in his finger one time. So he's had some injuries there. And he was playing his shoulder. So it was a broken arm and a shoulder injury. But he came back better than ever. He was at CU today training with the new coach, showing the position. Oh, how the position body and take off in the NFL. Are you talking about the strength and conditioning coach, Coach Swayze? I think I saw that video, and I think I saw him working out with Livingston, the defensive coordinator. So he has some good expertise between strength and conditioning and Rob Livingston, helping him with technique, I'm assuming. So strength and conditioning and technique from the best, absolutely. Because they say that, what's his name? Swayze was the man at Miami. That NFL players who left Miami, graduated, went to the league, came back, like Ed Reed, used to come back and condition with him to stay in top shape. That's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. Is he a freshman? Who? We're talking about Shiloh today. Yeah, it's Kaden. If you're talking about Kaden, no, he's a senior. He'll be with Colorado for 1 year. I think he might end up the starter. But y'all know what's something funny? I was on, how when you have an iPhone, right? And this could happen with an Android. But I went to my browser. I'm going to assume it was Safari. I asked the question, what college quarterback is Kaden Salter comparable to? Guess what the answer was that returned? JuJu Lewis. I was like, what? And they on the same team? Y'all try it in your phone. Ask the same question and see if you get the same result. You know how AI will give you the answer? See if your AI will give you the same thing. I don't know, different phones have different, different AI. Like, Siri was also AI. People just didn't know it. But I don't know what it is that Safari uses, but it came back and it just said AI. Yeah, no, wow. And you know what I said to myself? I said, is this how they recruit now? They go into the computer and asking, so if we want to get another quarterback, we got JuJu. What's another quarterback that's comparable to JuJu? Because we got to have somebody else too. And we still have, y'all remember number 16, the one who backed up Shador? I think they said he's staying. They said he might leave after practice. I forget his name. If y'all know his name, please put it in the chat. But they said they think he might leave after spring. But last year, Shador had number 16 behind him, and there were 2 other quarterbacks. So I don't know how many quarterbacks Colorado actually has right now, but there are 2 vying for the starting job. And I saw, if you watch Well Off Forever, if you saw Shilo, it's possible you saw another video, or maybe in the same video, with Kaden Salter throwing the ball to the receivers. I didn't see who the receivers were, maybe Timmons, but Cash Cleveland was out there snapping the ball to him. And y'all know that lineman, the big guy, number 59, Yahidi or something like that. He was like being the offensive lineman. So, and Kaden looks so comfortable. So comfortable. I mean, this dude, I'm telling y'all, I think this dude might win the Heisman. His first year at Liberty was a perfect season. Last year, they lost maybe 2 to 3 games. I'm sure they went to a bowl game. His numbers are stellar. He's basically referred to as one of the best dual threat quarterbacks. And guess what his jersey number is? I was watching his highlights. I said, hold on. He wearing number 7 like Michael Beck, who's also a dual threat quarterback. He wore that number in high school. His mom said he's very confident. He went to the Truth, he played football for Truth Academy, so he's familiar with Coach Prime. I don't know how we get this young man to fall back into Coach Prime's fold like BJ Green did, because he also played youth ball at Truth for Coach Prime. I don't know how we get him back, what made him get into the portal, but I'm telling y'all, I think that young man might bring a Heisman to Colorado. You gotta watch his highlights from Cedar Hill and from college at Liberty. Dude is a beast, and he's calm under pressure. All of the research I did on him said that he has deep ball accuracy. Y'all know that's what JuJu has. That's what Shador has. They also said that he's one of the most electrifying quarterbacks in college football. Shador was electrifying. Shador has deep ball accuracy. He's even more of a dual threat. Some people don't think Shador was a dual threat. I'm like, he can run on third down and score, so I'm good with it. But this young guy wears number 7. That's Michael Vick. I kept Googling over and over, wondering, like if there was a story out there on why he chose number 7. But when I heard him say top dual threat quarterback, I said Michael Vick. That's when he was younger, he picked that number. So he fashioned himself as, in my opinion, because that's not his birthday, I checked, as a Michael Vick long time ago. And y'all know Michael Vick and Coach Prime are friends. So if I can like get a message to somebody, I want somebody to interview him and ask him why he chose number 7. Did it have anything to do with Michael Vick? If he say yes, we getting that Heisman. We are getting that Heisman. I know Vick didn't win a Heisman, but this young man, I'm telling you, you watch his highlights. It's something special about him. Even if you go watch Well Off Media today, when he was just throwing the ball around, he looked so comfortable. It's like he was at Colorado last year. He just met these players that he's throwing to. I even heard him tell one of the receivers, stay away from the cornerback. I'm telling you. Yes, you saw that, Lisa. So you saw him. I'm telling you, that Kaden, that dude right there, for one, I think he gonna end up being a starter. Just his presence alone. And when we go play Georgia Tech, he not gonna flinch. I'm not saying JuJu is, but JuJu's young. And, when you're younger, sometimes it's just different. I don't doubt his abilities at all, especially, with AI giving me the answer that these two are comparable to each other. And then I heard Kaden say that at some 11 youth camp that football players go to, he was the counselor. JuJu was one of the camp attendees, and JuJu won like some MVP award at that camp. So for Kaden to be the camp counselor, JuJu to be the athlete, and they on the same team. And Kaden is not shy at all. Like he's essentially attached himself to Pat Schumer. That's smart. The man that's calling the plays, you want to be a sponge and learn everything that he has to offer. That's smart. That's smart. That means he doesn't think he knows it all, even though he's experienced. I'm gonna go ahead and put that Heisman on him. I'm gonna have to see, but they also said he's unflappable, like Shador. He doesn't get roused in the pocket. And just watching him today on that Well Off Media, that short clip, I'm like, this dude, this the one. You could see it. And maybe that's why they went and got him, and then he could help, develop JuJu in certain ways, Because I don't want anybody to say, JuJu's good. I went to the Georgia State high school playoff game. He's good. It wasn't his best game, but he's also confident. But this young man right here, I think he could bring that Heisman back to CU. Looks natural. Absolutely, Lisa. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yeah, he told him to stay away. Who was that? Who was that he told that to? I didn't see that part. He told him to stay away from the DB. I was like, who was he talking to? I hope that they took the, everybody can't take that kind of, they like, you just got here. How, you going to tell me? Some people are like that. But hopefully, I don't know who it was. I didn't see who it was. But hopefully they took it. Because, they used to Shador. And, Shador is different. But Shador be getting on people, too. Y'all remember the clip with Shador going at Travis, telling him to and catch the damn ball? Y'all remember that? Shador don't play either. So this dude is just like fit right in. It's like a family. Like the older brother Shador going off, as a quarterback, going off to the NFL, and the younger brother, even though, I don't think they have that type of bond, but the younger brother who's a quarterback coming right in, and he just fit right in. It's crazy how AI compared them to each other. I just asked a simple question. Who was he comparable to? And they said JuJu Lewis. I was like, what? Let me know if any of y'all tried it on your phone, is what it came back as. Yeah, he told him to stay with him, the DB. Who was that? It says when he introduced himself, he said he's going to bring Colorado a championship. I believe him. I saw that, and I believe him. I saw that. That's what made me go watch his highlights. I saw an interview with his parents. That interview made me go watch the highlights. And then I saw the well-off media piece today. He is going to be a person, whenever well-off media come on, I'm looking for him. I'm looking for him. Because I think this young man, I think he's the real deal. He wears number 7 for a reason. And if I ever find out it's Michael Vick, we getting that Heisman, I'm gonna have to learn how to bet so I can place a bet and make some money. Cause you can see it. Some people just have that aura and that presence about him, that confidence, and he does. It says he's confident. Yeah, he's confident within himself. Yep. Well, Lisa, looks like I appreciate you hanging on here with us, with me for the most part. Normally we have a crew in here, but I go daily every day now, 8 o'clock. So we might have different people on different days. But I hope you come back. I've enjoyed the conversation. Hopefully you'll come back and join us again, and turn your notifications on so that when we go live, you can come back. I appreciate your insight. And it says Shador gonna be number 1. Gonna be what? SCU for training. Oh, he is? I wonder, what you think about Travis? Since we still talking, what you think about Travis? You think Travis gonna come back and train at Colorado? I haven't seen him training anywhere yet. Let me know if you have. I saw Chidozie training. I saw Jimmy Horn Jr., LaJohntay, and Will Shepherd. They got a video. Shilo got a video. You say Shador, so Travis is the one that we haven't seen yet. They could be keeping I'm sure he started. But I don't know where he could be training at. But maybe they don't want to put it out there. I don't know. You would think, though, his representation would want that to be out there. Like these videos, like with Shiloh, like that's helping to see that he has elite training. Yeah. And it's Rob Livingston, who came from the NFL, and Andrew Swayze, Coach Swayze, who trained, 32 first-round draft picks after Miami went to 12 bowl games and won 2 championships in his tenure at Miami. Yeah, that's going to look good for Shiloh. It's just going to take what's already it's just like a 7-tiered cake. And, the more you build on, it just gets better and better as it gets to the top. So, I wonder, Chidozie didn't look like he was at CU. So I'm going to have to start paying attention to that to see, where people training, are they training together? Chidozie looked like he was somewhere totally different. Hey, Gracie, welcome. Good evening. Good evening. Gracie, say hi to Lisa. Lisa joined a conversation today. We were talking about Shiloh going to the NFL and all of the great positive characteristics, attributes, and traits that make him a high 2nd-round draft pick. You saw LaJohntay training? Where did you see LaJohntay? Was he with someone else, or was he at a different place? Lisa Gracie is one that she joins every day as well too. So like I said, you have to turn your notifications on. And there's a few other people. They'll probably join us maybe tomorrow or another day. But yeah, we seem to have a squad going here. So yeah. I have to, LaJohntay, now, I know, people were upset that he didn't get an invite to the combine. But they were already talking about him being drafted to the New York Jets. And one of the reasons I was thinking maybe Jimmy got an invite, an invite to the combine was because he had gotten hurt. So I was thinking, well, we already got Shador going first. We got Travis going 3rd. Then we going to invite Jimmy Horn Jr. That's 3. So then so that would be 4 people with invites from Colorado, but they were already talking about LaJohntay being a New York Jet. So I think what they gonna do, I don't think it's gonna be like 3 or 4 people in the first round from Colorado. LaJohntay Weston should be a late first round draft pick, early second, for sure. But he really should be a late first round draft pick because he's an end zone magnet. Whenever he showed up for Colorado, he balled out. That Baylor game, oh man. If you watch the last 2 minutes of the Baylor game, honestly, when it shows up in my feed on YouTube, I just let it play. It is so magical and so spectacular. And it shows you that it had to be him who caught it. It's not the fact that he just caught the ball. He could have caught the ball and dropped it. He could have caught the ball and touched the ground with his arms. He could have touched the ground with the ball. No. He knew exactly what to happen and what not to allow. And that changed everything. That meant Shador had an ace in the end zone that he could always throw to. Jimmy got hurt. And at one game, we lost LaJohntay. We lost Will Shepherd. We lost Jimmy Horn Jr. Maybe Will Shepherd might have been the only. I think we had to go with Timmons, Omarion. So many people got hurt in one game. I think it was the Kansas game. The Kansas game or the game after that. Like several people got hurt at one time. And it showed you how deep the wide receiver room was at Colorado because Omarion stepped up, then he got hurt. Timmons stepped up, he got hurt. So we had to tap Draylon. He did well. Draylon is a star. Colorado's gonna be good next year. I think they could go all the way. I know they could get a Big 12 championship. Now that we've played BYU and I see how, their system looks, they trick plays, they're smart, fast, I think we could have beat BYU this year if we'd had an O-line on the right side. We just didn't have one. Let me see what y'all saying. Our host is very knowledgeable and energizing. Is that what that says? Engaging. Thank you, Gracie. That's sweet. It says, I think he going first round. You talking about LaJohntay? Hey, Regina, welcome back. Regina, Gracie's back, and we have a newcomer, Lisa. Lisa's from the 202 in DC. She's up on Colorado football. She even knows who Kaden is. She knows who Shilo is. We were talking about Shilo, topic of conversation tonight, getting drafted, and Kaden. We started talking about Kaden, and now we're talking about the players working out, getting ready for the draft. So Regina is part of the squad, Lisa, so y'all welcome each other. If anybody want to be a moderator, drop the M, and I'll just hand you the moderator tool. So Horn got the speed. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Jimmy Horn Jr. was getting drafted off speed alone. Did y'all know that Coach Prime was instrumental in making sure Colorado had adequate representation in the Hula Bowl? Do y'all know that? If you go listen to, I think it's the $1 Million Worth of Game. He was on so many interviews last week. I could be getting the shows confused. They wanted to induct him into the Hula Bowl Hall of Fame, because, he went. But he's the reason we got 6 people from Colorado into that Hula Bowl. And if you know that he got 6 people into that Hula Bowl, and it's how many in the Shrine Bowl? How many is that in the Shrine Bowl? If anybody could Google it. I think it's LaJohntay, Will Shepherd, Shilo, Shador, Travis. That's 5. I might be missing somebody. If y'all know how many people go into the Shrine Bowl, 6 in the Hula Bowl, he was instrumental. And Cameron Silver-Craig. That's 6. That means we got 6 in the Shrine Bowl, the Senior Bowl, 6 in the Hula Bowl. That's essentially an offense or an entire defense, or it's half and half. And that's basically how it went, including special teams, because we had Frank Bassett. He went to the Hula Bowl. And I even saw Trevor Woods at the Hula Bowl. I thought I saw Trevor Woods, and he had transferred out. So Coach Prime is that dude. So, for Jimmy Horn Jr. to get that combine invite, when I first heard about it, I said, I think Coach Prime had to do something to do with that. I really do. A lot of people think Jimmy should go back one more year. They think he should go back one more year because he got injured. I said, no, Jimmy got to go. This is his year. He needs to go into the league, he gonna get where he need to get. And I knew Coach Prime was gonna make sure that. See, people thinking Coach Prime is just focused on Shador and Shiloh. No, Jimmy. And all of them, LaJohntay, all of them that gave him their all, Cameron Silver Craig and Jimmy Horn Jr., he gonna make sure. Absolutely. Cameron been with him since he was in the 11th grade in high school, and he moved from Florida to Dallas. So he basically gave up his friends and his family just to go to this school, and look at where he is. And this was after he got a scholarship from either FAU or FIU, right? Coach Prime was like, I'm going to Jackson State. You want to come? He was like, nah, I'm going to go to FAU or FIU. At the last minute, they told me, well, we don't have your scholarship no more. He said he cried. Somehow he got back in touch with Coach Prime. I'm sure he still had his info. And guess where he ended up? On scholarship at Jackson State. And they said that man only worried about his sons. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. He makes sure his players, even last year when Colorado was sabotaged, that's what it was. And they went 4-8. Colorado still had 4 undrafted players to walk on to squads. I think only 2 possibly remain. But the point is, he got them there. And that's unheard of for a team that only won 4 games. And they say he's only worried about his sons. Absolutely not. You from... what? I don't know what that say. Okay, I'm gonna have to put y'all out with the Coach Prime sucks. I'm gonna put y'all out the chat for real. Anybody want to be a moderator? We got like about 15-20 minutes left. So if anybody want to be a moderator, drop the M and I will hand you the moderator tool so we can keep the distractions out. You say you think he going first round. If we talking about LaJohntay, yeah, he should. He should be a late first rounder. Regina, I saw you say yes. It says Shador had said on his podcast that they had plays designed for Jimmy Horn Jr. Oh, plays designed for Jimmy Horn. Yeah, he was hurt. Okay, do y'all remember that game? I forgot who we played. But Jimmy Horn Jr. ran that touchdown to the end zone, threw up the peace sign, and they called it back. That's how you know they biased against Colorado. That has happened in other games. And they didn't call taunting. So that game, if you could see the whole game, if you look at the sequence of plays after that, Shador was consistently trying to get Jimmy that ball after that so he could get back that touchdown. That's a good dude. That's a good young man. Yeah. One thing about it, I said this on another podcast when we were talking about Jimmy Horn Jr. Everybody is on the same page when it comes to lifting this young man up and making sure he gets to the league. And to me, him getting a combine invite, do you know how much peace that probably has brought to his mother? How much peace it has brought to his father? And y'all know his father can't see the games. Jimmy almost cried in court and said, he probably not going to get to see me graduate from college. I'm the first one in my family. So Jimmy Horn Jr.'s father told Coach Prime. Coach Prime went to see him in there when Jimmy was, I think, coming into Colorado or making a decision. And Coach Prime went to see that man. And he said, I'm going to take care of him. And he has. On senior day, Coach Prime walked out with Jimmy. He didn't have to do that. And people say he only cared about Shador and Shiloh. Nah, not at all. He wasn't kidding. The entire cumulative GPA for the Buffs is 3.0 football team. Most football teams don't have no 3.0 GPA. He was serious. I want you to come in here. When you come in here as young men, come in here as, I guess, boys, you're going to leave as young men or whatever. You're going to leave as a man. And they can graduate. These guys will have degrees, if they choose to go on. But the point is therefore, then why not? You came this far. You might as well go ahead and get that degree. Now, Shador, he's not graduated, I don't think. Travis, I could see Travis going back to graduate. I could see Shador going back to graduate. Coach Prime also revealed something that I didn't know. Shador and Travis never took a class in person at Colorado. Did y'all know that? I thought it was maybe just one or two classes were online. Those two were in Boulder, but only took online classes. Does anybody remember when Shador got his car booted? Shador got his car booted. That was in 23, their first year there, his black Cullinan. If I'm not mistaken, he had gone up to the practice facility and parked somewhere and they booted his car. And I thought at the time he was taking an in-class, like a course in person. But I could be wrong because I remember them booting his car, but it could have been the practice facility. Yay! I see y'all welcoming each other. Awesome. Regina, you didn't know what? Let's see. Gracie says, I am interested in seeing the dynamic between JuJu and Kaden. Okay. That's going to be interesting, but I think that's going to be settled real soon. We were talking about Kaden, and there's a well-off media video out today, and we were talking about how comfortable this young man looks, and I said it. I think he could bring another Heisman to CU. If you go find his high school footage, that's cool. Find his footage from Liberty. His first year at Liberty, they had a perfect season. His second year, I think they maybe lost 2 or 3 games, but I think one they went to a bowl game too. He was very confident. Lisa pointed this out when he stood up in front of the class and he said, I'm gonna bring a championship to CU. Like Shador on the field, he's comfortable, he's unflappable. I was pointed out that he wears number 7. That's Michael Vick's jersey. And I pointed out that Kaden was the camp counselor for a football camp that JuJu was an athlete at, that I think JuJu won like the MVP for. And I also pointed out that I was on my phone doing research and I asked like my browser, which was Safari, I think. But the question I asked was, what college quarterback is comparable to Kaden Salter? And the answer came back as JuJu Lewis. This gonna be good. This gonna be good, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be Kaden. I think it's gonna be Kaden because it's just something about his aura, his presence. He has 1 year left. He's comfortable. He's a baller. He was given instructions to the receivers to stay away from the defensive backs already as if he was already at Colorado. It's like he's at home. And I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that he played for Coach Prime youth football for Truth Academy. And now he's back in Coach Prime's fold just like BJ Green was. And y'all know BJ Green balled out. And just in case y'all don't know, when BJ came to Coach Prime, he was a running back. Coach Prime said, oh no, you a linebacker. Change that young man's position and now he getting ready for the draft. And BJ Green is getting drafted. I'm going to sit down and look at everybody that's going, and I have to figure out the needs. I said we could do this on live. Figure out everybody that's going and look at the needs of the team, or maybe just try to guess at it based on what information is out there and who has what picks, and try to figure out who's going where. I haven't had the conversation yet about Jimmy Horn Jr. and where he could go. Because I need to see, like, you know, what team needs, well, every team needs speed. That's first of all. But like what picks, what teams have, so we could try to figure out where he goes. But I think quite a bit of them going to end up in NFL, whether it's first round, second round. It's 7 rounds, plus you have walk-ons. And Coach Prime says some of them can end up on the practice squad. So I don't know if y'all saw a video that Coach Prime did when he talked about the practice squad. I think this is the video he had brought Derek McClendon in on Zoom. And Derek McClendon played for Colorado last year. He said one of the things that he kind of wished that he'd had at Colorado when he was there in 23 is that chemistry that he saw. He said, man, looking at y'all on TV play, the class of 24, the football team, he said, y'all have the best chemistry. It looked like a brotherhood out there. He said, I wish I had that when I was there. So Coach Prime went into detail and he asked Derek McClendon, he said, how do they practice? He told me, oh, they practice like it's a game. Y'all know Derek McClendon, if you don't know, he played with Miami. He's on their practice squad. So he's out there practicing with Tyreek Hill. He said, oh, they practice like it's a game. That's why Coach Prime said, he said, see, I'm telling y'all, these scouts coming out here every day to watch y'all, and y'all just going through the motions, but that's what they're looking at, how you practice. So Derek McClendon was on video, and then he left, and then Coach Prime talked about how much money they make on the practice squad. He's trying to level set their expectations. There's about 12 players that are trying to get ready for the draft. He knows all 12 of them are not being drafted 1 through 7. He knows it's a possibility. Like, what's his name? Justin Mayers. Like, he did good at the Hula Bowl. So he might get in there round 4, 5, 6, 7, depending. You know, O-linemen, they are premium. So I don't know where he can fall. I have to look. I don't want to say it based on performance. You have to look at the team needs. But Justin Mayers could get drafted and maybe somebody else end up on the practice squad. Coach Prime said the practice squad makes $12,000 to $20,000 every week. They have 17 weeks in the regular season. Do the math. Take the low end or the high end. 20 times 17. You know how much money that is? For the practice squad, I'm out there so they can have somebody to practice with. Man, men are lucky. I'm just going to go on and say it. I wish we had those kind of opportunities. But, you know, so I think it's about 12 guys. Hold on one second. I think it's about 12 guys. And it's possible somebody might end up on the practice squad. So he wants them to know that's not a bad thing. Because you can work your way up from the practice squad onto the team. Yeah, he was, and he got inducted. You talking about Coach Prime? Not the Coach Prime haters. I'm gonna have to put y'all in timeout. All right, y'all, we 57 minutes in? We doing good. Is there anything in particular y'all want to talk about? I'm trying to read y'all's comments. Some of the guys are playing on the East-West team, right? I think it's 6 people. The receiver core, all of the receivers, Jimmy Horn Jr., LaJohntay, Travis, Shador, Will Shepherd, Cameron Silman Craig. I think Cameron Silman Craig was the only defender to go to the East-West Shrine game, the Senior Bowl. But I think it's 6 of them. Like I said, the entire receiving core plus Shador, and that's including Travis and Cameron Silman Craig. And it says 2018. Oh, okay, moderator. I'm getting ready to pass this to Gracie. I'm just now seeing your yeah, I'm just now seeing that. Regina, I don't know if you're still gonna be on, but I'm handing you, I think, did you say my M? Yeah, I'm handing you an M. So Gracie and Regina, y'all have it. Y'all have it. Let's see. Both of y'all are moderators. Thank you. I'm just now seeing it. I'm trying to get it to scroll up. Okay. What is it saying? What does it say? Lisa, I'm looking at your comment. It says, oh, what was that? It's not, I can't see what that says. It's not ace. It's not a negativity. Remove yourself. Oh, okay. Thank you, Lisa. Felix. J-Lo sunglasses. Okay, well, thank you. It says, I haven't happened in other, I've seen it happen in other games. What was that, Regina, you saw happen in other games? Talking about Jimmy Horn Jr.? Okay, Lisa, y'all seem to be having a conversation. Okay, no, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Tim, what? I can't see what that is. Let's see. Texas Tech, the refs were biased. Yup. And, you know, they said, remember when Jimmy Horn Jr. got hurt in that game? Some people say he got hurt by slipping on a tortilla. I'm like, you know, they really need to change that celebration. I did a whole video on that. I don't know if y'all remember, but Nebraska, when they score a touchdown, they like let go balloons. That's so beautiful. And they were like red. I'm like, this is what Texas Tech should do. I don't understand why they would throw food and debris onto a plain surface. That's just a lack of respect. So they need to get some balloons. That's what they need at Texas Tech. They need to get some class first, but then they need to get some balloons because they don't have no class down there. There were people who were fans that said they were embarrassed over the years that the way that Texas Tech fan base behaves or misbehaves at games. So yeah, they say that's how Jimmy Horn Jr. got hurt. Tortilla. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Harry. Thank you so much. Let's see. Regina says East-West Shrine Bowl game will be played at Cowboy Stadium. Could be an omen. That is January 30th, just in case somebody wants the date. And if y'all know where it's going to be televised at, like, is it going to be YouTube TV, ESPN? Somebody could drop that in the chat too, because I do want to watch that. But I did just cancel YouTube TV. $83 a month. They sent me like a notification that says, hey, we're going up on our prices on January 13th. We're going up to $83 a month. I'm like, what? I don't even watch. All I watch is Colorado, and the season is over. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work for me. So I hope it's not on YouTube TV. I'm hoping it's like on something else, and I get to see it. So Shador had sit in one. What? Oh, he sat in one of his classes. Yeah, he sat in one of his classes. I feel like that was last year. I feel like he was coming to class, and you know that's when Coach Primeman had just got there. He parked his Cullinan in a spot that I guess he didn't have a sticker, and they booted his car. That was so ugly, bro. That was, and I don't know if y'all know, but the next year when the season started, who did Coach Prime bring in to introduce themselves? Colorado Buffs Police, to make sure they understood that we have a relationship. That man, I'm telling y'all, that man is God-sent. He protected those young men out there. He really did. I don't think he's going anywhere. Do y'all think Coach Prime is leaving? I heard there's reports today. I don't click on everything that says Coach Prime is going to the Dallas Cowboys or Jerry Jones might hire. I'm like, you know what? I don't think he's going anywhere. I think the NIL issue has been resolved. The schools, you know, can share revenue up to 22%. So it's gonna be like $22 million. The revenues from like the TV deals, ticket sales, etc. But I think it's just the media. Now Colorado had 340 million last year, or 304. I don't know what they had this year, but they could get up to 22 million to use for all athletic programs. And I did a quick search because I'm working on that video talking about the NCAA house settlement and the distribution of the $2.8 billion settlement. I did my research. Colorado only has 14 athletic programs, and they're the basics. I think they have, like, for men it was football, basketball, it said cross country track. Then it itemized. It's like it itemized. It split up track and field and cross country track. So that's like two different programs. And then what else do we have? Tennis, you know, stuff like that. It was the basics. I was looking for like archery, rowing, something like that. Even though they have mountains. Oh, they have a ski team. I was like, what? Colorado has a competitive athletic program for skiing. I mean, it makes sense. But this is my first time hearing of a university have a ski team. So they have that. And for the women, it was basically the same thing, except for the women had volleyball. I don't know if the women had a ski team, but I know they had volleyball. And of course, they had women's basketball. They don't have football. Now, some schools are starting to get flag football. Alabama State University has a women's flag football team. So now that college, see, the NFL is trying to, in about 20 years from now, it's the NFL already has flag football. I don't know if you know that. It started with the youth because they want the youth to grow up with it. So now, since the youth have been catching on to it, now it's moving to the college level, the collegiate level. Stay tuned. So if y'all have, youngins somewhere, nieces, nephew, your own kids, or, your grands or whatever, I don't know, everybody's life is different. Flag football for the girls. It's out there. So, it says, yes, Shiloh Sanders class, I had heard they were online for their classes. Yep, they said Coach Prime revealed that Shador and Travis this year. Now, last year could have been a different story. But this year, for sure, every class they took was online. They did not go into a classroom. And I don't know if that was for the whole football team. But when Coach Prime had that first meeting, he talked about somebody kept walking on the camera and they weren't dressed properly. He was upset about that. He said, I don't want to hear about nobody on camera. He said, y'all failing in online classes and you're not dressed appropriately. And he said, I don't want to see anybody with slides on this campus. He don't want them looking like, he don't want them looking like that. So, is it, Kaden, do you think that JuJu will want to hit the portal? I don't think so. I mean, I was thinking about this when I was watching the Well-Off Media video. And of course, it was obvious to me that Kaden was throwing around. I hadn't seen JuJu do that yet. Now, it was said that Kaden said it out of his own mouth. Nobody promised him a starting role. And according to a report, JuJu's father and JuJu have also said nobody promised them a starting role. So it is highly possible it's more about development and preparation and the bright lights for the future. Because if Shador goes number 1, number 2, or number 3, right now he's number 2, that's huge. So why wouldn't you send your son, who, mind you, he graduated high school in 2.5 years. So he's young. Like, is he 17 yet? Somebody look his age up. I don't know. He's young though. He classified down so he could come out this year. He wasn't supposed to come out until next year. And I think he was like a 5-star or a 4-star for next year. And they classed him down from a 5 to a 4 for this year. So if he had 5 last year, they classed him down to 4 stars this year. And I said, well, why would they do that? Maybe they mean because he's too young. I don't know. But I saw reports that said Colorado might have 2 quarterbacks playing. I don't see that happening. A little bit. Just to kind of maybe make sure that JuJu gets in there. Matt, what's his name? Did anybody find out the name of the guy, number 16, that played behind Shador? I forget his name. But they said he's still there. So he's competing too. He's competing as well. So I don't see him leaving because nobody promised him a starting spot. And it's a lot of movement. Like some quarterback from Arkansas went to UNC, and apparently Bill Belichick hadn't signed his contract yet. And they said that's a problem. And he left and went somewhere else. I was like, what? So he went to Washington State, where Michael Penix Jr. played, I think. No, he went to Washington State. That's a different school. They said he went to school. He left UNC, went to Washington State, and on the first day of classes, he left Washington State and wanted to go somewhere else. I would not be moving around like that. I think if you are like a stellar athlete and you keep hopping around, I think they might let you play. You just have to beat out everybody. But if not, you're going to end up on the back of the depth chart until you can prove yourself. And I don't think that that's why they're moving around. So that just seems futile to me. 12 gets drafted. I think see, Coach Prime has connections. And these scouts been coming out to this school every day. Colorado's first game, there were 31 NFL scouts and executives at the game. Yeah, at the first game against North Dakota State. So, and then they go out there as scouts every day. At one point, the Atlanta Falcons said they wanted to draft Shador and Shiloh. This was at the beginning of the season when the scouts were out there. They were like, well, we need both of the Sanders boys. I was like, oh, we ain't doing that. I live in Atlanta. They should do it, but they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. It says, yeah, I don't think Kaden is, thank y'all. The chat looks so much better. Thank y'all for being moderators. I appreciate y'all. It says Philip Houston. You know what? I heard he is coming back. I hope that's not the case. I hope not. I don't want to say that out loud, but I heard he was coming back. I know he got hurt. Just wondering, did he get in the portal? Not to my knowledge. Let me look. Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. I didn't want him to come back though. That's 55 or 54. I saw some things there. Remember, he plays on the right side. If you watch the Alamo Bowl, that's just one game. You can watch the Nebraska game too. You can watch Nebraska, the Alamo Bowl, any game where Shador couldn't stand up right. Baylor, you can watch that game too. And you probably see some of the same things. Let's see. I don't think he hopped into the portal though. The other guy though, 67, he went back to Indiana. Yeah, he went back to Indiana. Let's see. I think he's still there though. Houston. Let's see. He is still there, I think. I don't think he's in the transfer portal. Yeah, I think he's still there. So I think he's returning. The other guy that played next to him, those two, 54 and 55, I think those two are the two coming back. You know what? I think I have my fingers crossed for Justin Mayers, for him to get into the NFL. You know, I think he seemed like he really was like a good one. You know, I did a video. I said the fans, you know, they weren't really sure what side he was on, but they didn't feel like he was negligent. I'll say it that way. It says it must be Travis sitting because who's that? Longhorn fans threw water bottles and beer cans at the UGA game. What? It must be a Texas thing. It might be. Texas can be rowdy. Yeah, that Texas, you know, that Texas pride can get a little out of hand after some beer. It might be. I've never seen another school. I've never seen UGA. I've never seen Georgia Tech act that way. I didn't see Jackson State act that way. Hell, I didn't see Prairie View act that way. Let's go with Texas. Even though those schools in Texas, Prairie View, I've never seen that either. Alabama State, I went to their games. I've never seen anybody act like that. Texas Tech is the only one I've seen be that rowdy. So I don't even know if A&M acts like that. They got a lot of tradition, you know, with the military, so they might not act like that. I got UTV. I got YouTube TV, share with family and friends. We split the cost. Well, you know what? That would be the move. That would be the move. That's something I have to think about. You can add up to 4 people to your YouTube account. I didn't know that. I just was like, $83. That's ridiculous. Because I don't watch TV like that. I watch YouTube. Like all of the Christmas movies I watched were on YouTube. So I don't know if y'all watch those, but nope, he's building something there with these young men. Yeah, I don't think Coach Prime is going anywhere. Did Justin Mayers and Khalil Benson both leave CU? Justin Mayers, no. He was just celebrated for being an outstanding player at the Hula Bowl. So he's going to the NFL draft, I believe. And Khalil Benson went back to Indiana. So he was at Indiana in 23, came to Colorado in 24, and went back to Indiana in 23. I don't know why y'all keep calling me that. I don't see it, but okay. Welcome. It says QB. Who is that? QB 16. Name Ryan Staub. Okay. Now, I don't know how that's going to work out. Kaden, JuJu, and Ryan Staub, and I know it's two more guys. One guy, every time you saw him in the meetings last year, he looked so like he was ready to go. He looked so sad. It's like he just knew he wasn't going to get no playing time. And I think he maybe was number 8. I feel like he might be gone. You know who? What? We did lose a quarterback. Okay, there were a set of twins that came from Kentucky. Keaton, Wade, and his brother. I can't think of his first name. His brother was the quarterback. Keaton Wade is a like a safety or like a corner. No, he's not a cornerback. He's like a safety or a linebacker. He made some good plays before he redshirted. His brother was a quarterback. He hopped into the portal. I saw that. So some people think Ryan Staub will hop into the portal after the spring, they said. Because we do tend to lose people after the spring too. But I just don't see how that whole, Kaden, JuJu, Ryan Staub, I don't see how that's going to work out. Cindy, lots of love from Croatia. Thank you so much. Thank you. So yeah. All right, guys, did that just about cover it? So let me recap. So this live, we was centered around Shiloh being drafted. Now, this is where y'all can, since we're all in here together, I said I see Shiloh getting drafted high second round pick with a range of possibility of late first round to high second round. I said around number 40. Let me know your thoughts on where you think you could see what round Shiloh would be drafted in. And then, and then next we talked about, and I talked about all his, the potential for him to be a star because he was on an upward trajectory this year, getting hurt and still having 67 tackles with a broken arm, broken forearm and a shoulder injury. And he came back and balled out better than ever. So that's my prediction. Let's see what y'all say. Y'all said he's going, Kiel, welcome back. Welcome back. Glad to have you. 3rd round. Okay. Who else said 3rd round? Godly. Oh, welcome, Godly. Welcome back. Regina, you said Shiloh easy 2nd round, early 2nd round. Okay. All right. One thing about the relay to chat, when you go back to it, you should be able to see it whenever you look at it. So when it's time for the draft, we coming back to these conversations, and we will be live for the draft. I was live for the Heisman, standing with my foot in my couch. So I definitely will be live for the draft from somewhere. I have to figure that out. But so we'll have these conversations to refer back to. Shiloh between 2 and 3, Gracie. Okay, all right, let's see. Lisa, did you drop one? Did Lisa say, is she still here? She might not still be here. But okay, so now we have that. So we talked about Shiloh. Yes, he's getting drafted to the dismay of some haters and some skeptics. And we got our predictions. Then we talked about Kaden. So I said, I think that young man might bring us that Heisman. What are y'all's thoughts? Big 12 championship, Heisman, college football playoffs. What do you see if Kaden is the starter? That's the if. If Kaden is the starter, how far do you think he could take us? Now, remember, his first season at Liberty was a perfect season. So I want to see what y'all have to say about that. Lisa, you said late 1st round for Shiloh. Okay, all right. Because I think they said the Titans have the number 32 pick or something like that. So, yeah. All right, so the question is, because we're talking about Kaden now, if Kaden starts, how far do you think he will take us? He had a perfect season first year at Liberty. They only lost 2 to 3 games last year, and they went to a bowl game. I say he could bring the Heisman to Colorado. It said we might be surprised. We might be surprised at what? Lisa, what it might be surprised at? It says, I would to see what CU with another Heisman. I think we could get it. I think we could get it. Y'all know what conversation I want to have. Carson Beck going to Miami for $10 million. I'm like, what? That whole scenario is crazy. Him leaving Georgia after getting hurt. He was supposed to declare for the draft. When the season started, I think he was supposed to be top 5 quarterback, if not the number 1 quarterback. So yeah, that's a whole nother podcast right there. And is JJ McCarthy still in school? Because I thought he went to the NFL last year. I heard somebody say they think JJ McCarthy could go first before Cam Ward and Shiloh Sanders. I was like, I thought he left last year. And that, if I thought that, then that says a lot. That says a lot. And no, I don't see that happening. Quinn Ewers declared for the draft. So, yeah, we got to talk about all these people declaring for the draft. We have to have an exclusive conversation about that. Big 12 championship. Okay, Kiel, I agree. Lisa, you says, how high Shiloh be drafted? Oh, that's what you were saying. Okay, all right. And it says he needs to do 1,000 yards, receiving 49 touchdowns, 1,000 yards rushing. You talking about Kaden? I think you're talking about Kaden. I'm not sure. They can have him for one more. What does that say? Regina, not Regina. Gracie, what'd you say? They can have him if for one. No, you talking about? Are you talking about Carson Beck that nobody will miss him? Is that what you saying, Gracie? That's crazy. $4 million, and he's the highest paid college athlete. I'm like, of course. I mean, last year, I think Caleb had $10 million. I think that was his NIL valuation. But I don't think that was all paid by USC, but I could be wrong. From what I understand, this is supposed to be all Miami money. I'm like, are y'all going to have anybody else on the team if you just gave him $4 million? But Bryce Underwood signed with Michigan, and his deal was $10 million. I don't know where these folks get this money from, but they get it from somewhere. They going to hit that $22 million cap real fast. And remember, that $22 million is shared across all athletic programs. Colorado has 14 other programs that it has to consider when it's giving out money, but they can still get money from an NIL. They're just not attached to an NIL. And if they have one, a collective, it'll be in-house. Thank you, bless up. I appreciate that. I think that's what that says. Yes, he really wasn't that guy. I didn't see it. When the season started, I have a friend who's a Georgia fan, and we were talking, and I was reading, like, you know, what ESPN have put out, like, around May, the prediction for who will be the top quarterbacks. And I saw Carson Beck. I was like, that's crazy. And Shador and Cam were like 8 and 9 or 7, 8 and 9. So the two that are actually 1 and 2 were at the bottom. And the ones that were supposed to be gone, Carson Beck is going back to school. I think he's trying to get drafted first. Or he know he not getting drafted. It's one of the two. I'm pretty sure he gonna get drafted though. It's just probably not gonna be where he wants it to be. Oh my God, wouldn't that be something if we end up playing Georgia next year? I don't even know if that's a possibility. Not Georgia, Miami. It is a possibility to play Miami in the college football playoffs, because it was a possibility to play them in a bowl game this year, but we didn't get invited. So I think college football playoffs is what it would have to be. And one thing about Kaden, he's confident. I don't think he's intimidated by anybody else out there. I really don't. I think he feels like he's that guy. He stood up in front of that room and said, I'm going to bring a Big 12 championship to Colorado. I was like, okay. And when you see him work out in that Well-Off Media video just a little bit, he's confident. It's like he's already been there, and he just heir to the throne. I'm a Georgia alum. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Kiel, it said 2026 Carson to be first round pick. He got hurt, so he might as well go to Miami. Get they 10 million. Facts. I'm like, that's crazy. Something about 10 million in total, 4 million from Miami, the rest from endorsement. I didn't know he had endorsements. I don't know who he's endorsed with, but yeah, just for coming. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see it, but you know. Let me ask y'all a question. Okay. Do y'all think, had he not gotten hurt, where do you think he would have been drafted? Let's be honest. Where do you think he would have get drafted this class had he not gotten hurt? We're talking about Carson Beck. Oh, that's what I was looking up. Let me see. Quarterbacks ranking for the 2024 class. College football. Here we go. All right, let's see. Here it is. Okay. The 2024 season leaders for, now these are the people that actually led. It was Cam Ward, Miami. This is after it's all said and done. It was Cam Ward, Will Howard, Dylan Gabriel, Jackson Dart, Curtis Rourke, Blake Horvath, Sawyer Robertson. Carson Beck was 8. So he was 8 with a QBR of 80. They had Shador with a QBR of 75, but yet he's about to be the number 1 or number 2 pick in the draft. And if the Titans didn't have the number 1 pick and the Raiders did, he'd be the number 1 pick. So, yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. 5, 5th round. You really think he would have went 5th round? I don't think. I think they would have put him 2nd round. I know he's hurt, but I still think the people around him probably are like, look, you need to go back to school 1 more year. And if you go back 1 more year, you'll probably be a top 3 draft pick. But we got to see who coming out. Because now we got to see what quarterbacks, we got to talk about that. What quarterbacks are playing next year? We know we got Kaden. We know we got JuJu. They battling it out for the number 1. So that's 2 people right there. Then I think Oklahoma had somebody that was supposed to be really good. I thought Ole Miss had a prodigy, like one of the high school students who graduated like at 16 to 17, kind of like JuJu. But he was like really young. I think I saw a documentary on him. Then, you got Carson Beck at Miami. So I have to see who's where. Georgia Tech's quarterback is nothing to sneeze at. Haynes King, I don't think he's coming out this year. I think he might be next year. He's good. He's going to be playing on Sundays. I think he makes people in the Atlanta area support Georgia Tech. And if you know anything about Atlanta, it's all UGA. So that's good. Let's see what else. It says in a first round, and it will possibly win a national championship. Georgia was just so good. Oh, okay. Oh, you think he would have went first round? Okay. Keel, I think you're talking about Carson Beck. I'm not sure. Texas got Peyton Manning. Now, that's going to be good. Now, let's talk about that for a minute. Okay. Now, y'all know Peyton Manning, not Peyton Manning, Arch Manning is legacy. Let's just say it like that. And last year Quinn Ewers should have left. But I saw what was happening. I knew that the UT fan base, I don't even know why I know this, the UT fan base was ready for him to go because they wanted Arch to start this year. And he didn't leave. He obviously stayed. Coach Sarkisian had to have a conversation publicly and declare who the starter was going to be, and he rolled with Quinn Ewers. And, so now Quinn Ewers is declaring for the draft. I don't know where he's predicted to go. Somebody thought early on in the season he was going to be a top pick to go to the Carolina Panthers. I haven't heard much. Stephen A. put out a piece about what he thought about Quinn Ewers declaring for the draft. I haven't watched it. I'm probably going to watch it because I just want to see what he's going to say. But, I don't know about that because, that UT orange, that runs deep and, their feelings was hurt. And I'm pretty sure there was some UT people in the background. And I'm going to tell you who family is UT. So we got to keep a hold on our boy Cash Cleveland. I don't know if y'all watched the interview with Cash's family. Love his mom. She loves her baby and, him at Colorado. So they were at their house and it looked like they were on all one floor together. And all I saw was UT orange shirts on like the men in the family. And I thought to myself, we better hurry up and get Cash Cleveland that scholarship. I'm like, because I could see it. His mama don't strike me as the type, but he got a dad. And I don't know. I never thought his dad was 100% sold on it because they look like they some UT people. But, Colorado took a chance and Cash, Cash came to Colorado because Jordan Seaton said, I want him to come with me. That's why he at Colorado. And it looked like his family's some Longhorn folks. So I can't wait to hear that scholarship announcement for Cash Cleveland. I love everything about him. His personality, his work ethic. He said he just kept praying for opportunity. And it happened. Somebody just left the program that moved Cash from 3rd on the depth chart to 2nd. And y'all saw what happened with Hank Zielinskis. Then when he got taken out the game, that meant a true walk-on freshman, a preferred walk-on freshman, started for Colorado's offensive line. That was the first time ever that a freshman started on the O-line for Colorado in its history. And they've been around since the late 1800s. That's saying a lot. So, I noticed that Longhorn connection, though, with the men in their family, though. So, but, we'll see. It says no. It says Kiel says no. Oh, let me go up one. Kiel. Oh, yes, that's who you were talking about. Okay. Carson Beck. It says, yes, I thought he was going to play in a playoff game. Who? Are you you talking about Arch Manning? I'm assuming that's who you're talking about. That is Queen T. Welcome, Queen. The squad is back. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see these familiar names. I can't see you, but y'all have no idea. This means a lot to me. Thank you so much that y'all care enough to come back and keep coming back. So welcome, Queen T. It says, yes, I thought he was going to play in a playoff game. Yes, Arch Manning. Okay. Well, they started now. It says, no, he'll be a 3rd round. Are you talking about Carson Beck and that's Kiel. He'll be a journeyman. Yeah, I could see that. 3rd round pick. My mistake. Oh, okay. A 3rd round pick. It says, I love Cash too. Oh, yeah. I love how he puts the sign of the cross under his eyes. You know how to use that black, like the eyeliner type, the masking. And it's always the cross. I really wanted to get a picture of that. I saw him coming in and out the tunnel on a video. I have to go back and try to get it. I'm pretty sure it was well off media. But that was, it just touched me. That, he just has that aura about him and that spirit about him. So I hope he remains above. He seems to love Colorado. So, and he's starting. Yes, Manning. Okay, Queen T, got it. It says, I am very certain that Cash will get a scholarship. Yeah, for sure. Now, when does that happen? I don't know how it works with football. Does it start, they get the scholarship for the fall? Or is it the spring? Or do they go a whole year? Or do they have to recertify every year? I heard there's an exit interview after the season. And then I guess when they go to spring ball, they determine who's going to be on the team. Maybe that's what a scholarship coming at. I don't know. Hold on, let me get me a chair. Let's see. Hold on one second. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I'm sitting down. Okay, said 3rd round pick. My mistake. I love Cash too. Yes, Manning. I am very confident he'll get a scholarship. Yeah, I'm starting to think it's after the spring game when they know who's going to be on the squad. Girl, I love your knowledge. Oh, Queen T, thank you. On Facebook, on football, and especially the Colorado Buffs. Oh, that's my squad. Y'all know what's so funny? Let me tell y'all something. It was funny. So I wanted to go to Colorado to a game. Y'all know why I didn't go? Because I said, I think it's going to be too cold. And then it just snowed here in Atlanta. And it's supposed to snow again. This was my first winter storm. I had never been in a winter storm before. Like in Houston, in New Orleans, the snow doesn't really stick. In Houston, we got long time ago, we got a layer, like not, I don't even know if it was an inch of snow, but it covered everything. But it wasn't like in Atlanta where you could like put your boot imprint in it and covering up tires on cars. That's how high it got in Atlanta. But that's why I didn't go to Colorado. I was like, I think it's gonna be too cold. Bucky said it's colder in New York than it is in Colorado. I'm like, wow, okay. He can be given one starting in the spring. Okay, Gracie, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for the compliment, Queen T. Let's see. Hey, Tim. I have what? I can't see what that says. I don't know. Regina says, I love me some CU. Yep, I think we're going to ball out this year. Okay, this is one of the reasons why I think it's going to be different this year. See, some people think it's going to be different just because Coach Prime's sons are not there. And while that's true, it's not for the reason that you think. See, okay, Shiloh and Shador have been celebrities their whole life. They move different. If you notice anything about Shador, if you look at any videos, like, okay, he was at a game recently, I think the Dallas Mavericks game, and somebody, I don't know who was, walked up to him and handed him a blazer. And he didn't just take it. He was like, what? He was trying to understand, what is this you're giving me? And then the guy had to say, oh, your dad said he wanted this jacket from Mr. So-and-so. And he was like, oh, that sounds like something my pops would say. So Shador took the jacket and just set it on the back of the chair until it was time to go. And then he gave the jacket to security so they could he could keep talking to people and security could secure the jacket and put it away. So there was a announcer who was trying to find something wrong with the way Shador handled that. I'm like, y'all don't know Shador. If you watch Well Off Media enough, he doesn't he's guarded. He's guarded. And they've been famous for a long time. I've heard people say at the games this year, like some of the YouTubers that got a chance to go, like the Twitch streamers that were hanging out with Travis, Travis invited them to the game. And they were like, man, I saw Shilo and I mean, he just had this Hollywood about him. Like, you just can't really approach them like that. So people are saying they aren't approachable. I'm like, guys, you got to think about it. Their father has got to be one of the most hated people out here. They grew up with this. And people have been hating on them. So they're celebrities. They're already guarded because of who their father is and who they are. They grew up in the spotlight. So they don't just let people approach them like that. I kind of understand it. That's like LeBron James's son. People was upset because he didn't want to take like a coach bus to a game. And people were like, that's LeBron James' son. He has to have security. You can't just be out here all willy-nilly. So people try to fault them for that. But a lot of people, whether they admit it or not, were intimidated by them. They had assumptions, preconceived notions. They felt like, you know, they got a circle. And I'm like, they were kind, good people. It's just that they were guarded because they're celebrities and their father gets a lot of hate. And they get a lot of hate. But people act like they didn't understand it. So now that that's gone, now that that intimidation factor, those preconceived notions, the way people felt about how they were being guarded, now that that's gone, it just opens it up. It just opens it up. So I think this could truly become Kaden and or JuJu's team. And Kaden is already making inroads. I'm wondering how it's going to fare with JuJu. You know, that we see Kaden working out with the wide receivers. We see Kaden working out, you know, with one of the linemen. We see Kaden working out with Cash. That's the kind of thing I'm wondering, like, is he mature enough to handle that? Because he was the star here. They had a velvet rope at his game. So, you know, celebrities went to his high school game, but now it's different. And the person that was your camp counselor is in competition with you for the starting spot. That's what I want to see. How he, because I know academically he's going to do fine. If you graduate high school in 2.5 years, then you're going to fly through college. College is really about time management. And I think he'll do well there, but I want to know how he's going to do with these videos coming out. Because, last year, some of the players had issues like this person is always on camera, or, this person is popular, I'm not popular. That was a problem. That was a problem. So, and then the whole NIL thing, like who gets the deals and stuff like that. And, the Sanders kids, had deals. They were famous. It was instantly that they had deals. But people forget, Coach Prime remember they were like the almonds commercial? Charlie Offerdahl was in it. Coach Prime brought some of the players into his NIL commercials. So you can't say he was being selfish. I saw a comment that said he made NIL about himself. That's not true. Because he brought other players into his NIL ads, and they got compensated. They are humble young men. Prime had looked out of a mansion and he took them out of a mansion and downsized their home. Oh, really? Oh, that first house, the one where he lived with the wife, that's where they grew up, and then they moved to, where did they move to after that? I don't think I do remember the kitchen being smaller when Miss Connie was keeping them, and that didn't look like a mansion, so that must be the house that they downsized. And I don't remember seeing DeAndrea or Bucky, so I'm thinking that's what y'all are talking about, because that's when Miss Connie was keeping the kids. It was driving her crazy, but she was a typical grandma though. She wasn't playing. I think so. I think so. And they went to public school. When did they go to public school? I didn't know that. I thought they always went to private school. I thought they went, I guess I don't know where they went for elementary, but what is it? High school. They went to Trinity Christian. That was a private school. So was it somewhere in between elementary, like maybe middle school, that they went to public school? But I didn't know that. Salter is tough. I believe he will be our starter. I know the real test is going to come with that Georgia Tech game. Georgia Tech is the first game on the schedule. Georgia Tech went 8 overtimes with Georgia. I watched that game. Georgia Tech is tough, and I don't know who's returning there, but if Haynes King is there, he's a good quarterback, and that's just one heck of a way to start off. And I feel like this is like a rebuilding. We lost some key players. I think we had almost 20 people to depart from the program just in terms of eligibility or going to the draft, a combination of that too. I'm not even talking about transfers. It's some stiff competition out there for recruits too. It's like last year when Coach Prime first got to Colorado, everybody wanted to come to Colorado. Now, people going to Syracuse. I don't know if a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of people still going to Alabama. Miami's up there, now. BYU, I heard they're doing good. Boise State lost their players. They said they lost a lot of players because they don't have the money to pay. So they got to get that together. And of course, Notre Dame, Ryan Clark. Y'all know Ryan Clark from the Pivot. I didn't know his son plays at Notre Dame under Coach Marcus Patterson. And what other schools out there? Michigan. Michigan. Ole Miss got some folks. Ole Miss, they only won 2 games last year, but they recruiting pretty tough. So, it's not just, then of course you got Coach Belichick trying to figure out what to do at UNC. In the interim, he's getting recruits. Did we lose somebody, LeJante Cook? We lost him. He committed to Colorado and he decommitted and went to UNC or somewhere. I don't know. He went somewhere. But, and he was like a top recruit. So I'm hoping we don't lose anybody else. I like Quentin Gibson, Cornell, Farrakhan X, him, and then all the guys from Mississippi. We need them. They some big guys. They're some big guys. If y'all haven't watched the First Day Back video on Well Off Media or Reach the People Media, with the introduction for the team, you will be impressed with the size of our players. What does that say? Jealousy. Let's say jealousy. will always yeah. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you truly want to go to the NFL, you understand the NFL has a hierarchy. It's the quarterback and everybody else. You can't be mad. The offensive line, think about it. What do you hear in the NFL? And this is something that Shador gonna have to do, keep in tradition. You have to gift the entire O-line. You can't just gift one. You got to gift everybody. Think about it. That doesn't happen with defensive backs and wide receivers. It's the O-line. It's the tradition for the quarterback to gift the entire O-line. I think Russell Wilson, they just let him go from Pittsburgh, I heard. I think he gifted the O-line in Pittsburgh all Rolexes. So, it's the quarterback and who they want to gift and everybody else. But in terms of the attention, it's the quarterback. And maybe like a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. People who are famous and non-football fans know who they are. If you're not one of those people, they're not going to know who you are. They're not going to know who you are. So if you're jealous in college, you're not going to make it in the NFL. You just have to run your own race and believe that God wants you to be there and that's where you're going to be. And if you don't get there, then that's not meant for you. That's the way you have to think about it. Because otherwise, it's just going to eat you up with jealousy. So I agree with that, Keo. The high school prime prep was a public charter school. Oh, I didn't know they had a high school. I thought it was just Truth Academy, the small school. So he had prime prep, and then they left there and went to Trinity Christian. Okay, I didn't know that. Good info, Gracie. Gracie always clutch. All y'all clutch with the insight. I really appreciate it. Y'all know we at 108 minutes. We get to talking on here. It's going to be something on draft day. I'm going to have to come on here and make sure my phone charged. And we just going to be on here for I think the draft, day one is a whole day. Day two gets a whole day. And then day three is rounds 3 through 7. So, I love this though. Y'all have no idea. It says 49ers QB just brought all of the O-line vehicles. Brock Purdy? Are we talking about Brock Purdy? Regina? If so, that's amazing. That's amazing. You know why that's amazing? I mean, it's awesome. If we're talking about Brock Purdy, it was just said that Carson Beck being paid $4 million at Miami was more than 3 NFL players, Brock Purdy, Brock Bowers, and Christian Gonzalez, who I think went to Colorado. There are 3 NFL players that Carson Beck makes more money than. So if he don't get drafted, I'm sure he has people around him that can help him invest that money and grow it. And you know what they say, flip it. You know what I'm saying? Invest it and grow it into generational wealth, So I really feel like that's the plan. I kind of feel like somebody talked to him and yeah, I know he's hurt, but something in me tells me that that's the plan. And then think about it. He went to Miami. His girlfriend goes there. That's why he went there. So it's like he really didn't take it seriously because you would go where you could start or, I don't know, where you could fit. But it's like that didn't matter. It's just his girlfriend went and she NIL, she's basketball. She's a twin. And yeah. So that's why I'm like, I kind of think that they just going to ride off into the sunset with their NIL, they $5 million NIL and flip it into generational wealth. That's just what I think. I could be wrong. It says, yes, he don't have the big money. Who? When Carson gets done, they're throwing interceptions, they gonna be asking for a refund. Everybody waiting to see what happened at Miami next year. It's like when they heard the announcement Carson Beck is going to Miami, that's one. Like, what? You leaving Georgia and you going to Miami? And number 2 for $4 million. It's like, what? It was like people were looking at each other like, okay. Like, that made absolutely no sense. I feel like it's a money grab. That's just how I feel about it. I'm like, he didn't even care about the school. His girlfriend go there. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a money grab then. That's what it is. And now he got $10 million, just like that. Not off of performance. I'm assuming that they believe he gonna be the #1 quarterback last year, just like they said he was gonna be the #1 quarterback this year. I need to go do my quarterback research. I need to see who's out there. I need to see who's out there. So the question is, who is Georgia's quarterback now? Do they have one? The guy that took over? Did he do right by them or what? I don't know. I have to talk to some Georgia fans. If y'all know, y'all can tell me. This is amazing because nobody thought that was a good idea for Carson Beck to get paid to go to Miami, #1. #2, to get paid $4 million and now $10 million. So that's crazy. I think all next year, I think Arch Manning is going to get a lot of attention. It wouldn't surprise me if he sits atop the leader of NIL valuation. Now, you see how quiet that is? They're not talking about it. They're not saying nothing. Everybody talking about Carson Beck. He's the first one to jump out there. The Manning family, it's quiet. And that's amazing. That's what you call quiet confidence. Because they are legacy, for sure. Cooper, that's his dad. He went to Ole Miss. He got injured. That's the only reason. He still managed to go stay around football by having like a podcast. He was on somebody else's show before podcast. Then he got his own show. And then he's a big time energy trader in Louisiana or Texas. I forget which one it is. But the energy industry, y'all know what that's like. So he up there. And I thought at one point he was managing his brothers, either the finances or something. But he big time. So Arch Manning is his son. Quiet confidence. That house gotta be crazy for Thanksgiving. All these people sitting around at this table, like, my God, the father, Archie Manning, you know who, the Saints, man, y'all know I'm from New Orleans. They love Archie Manning. There's probably people out there still wearing his jerseys, for sure. Like, when you go to the casino in New Orleans, they have the sports book with all of the media walls. They have a restaurant. It's called Manning's. Yeah. So they are entrenched. And if you know anything about business and politics in Louisiana, to have a restaurant inside of, what is it called, Caesars? You don't just walk up and get a restaurant inside Caesars. So, yeah. Quiet confidence. It'll be interesting to see how that go next year. It's like they just sit back with the whole Carson Beck thing and like, yeah, okay. They not even worried. It's like they see it on the TV, they sit at the dinner table, they hear the announcement, they all look up, and then they go back to eating. That's what it's given. They have said nothing. Like nothing. They're not saying nothing about anything. Like, they just quiet. I guess that's what happens when you're confident. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Quarterback, left tackle. Let's see. Quarterback, left tackle. Who's that? Left tackle. Okay, I can't see because the light in front of my face. And a very... Oh, everybody else in the NFL. That's how it works. Oh, yeah. It's the quarterback and everybody else. The O-line just gets the recognition when they get the gifts. Outside of that, you don't know who they are. I don't care where they went in the draft. You don't know who they are. Somebody said something. We didn't talk about this when we discussed Shiloh, and I don't like comparison. So I'm going to tell you what my answer is. Somebody said, I think Shiloh might end up being better than Shador. I said they both going to be great. That's what you don't understand. You don't have to choose. They both are good athletes. It's like people insist that it got to be one. Like Coach Prime was going to leave and take one son. And then he said, no, I will coach both. They both are getting drafted. They both will be stars in the NFL. Watch what I tell you. Shiloh was on an upward trajectory, even with being hurt. If we would have had, like, gone to the college playoffs, oh, he would have balled out for sure. Because he had already been injured and recovered, came back and was successful. The NFL is looking at that. So people think they have to choose. Only one of them is going to be good. Both of them will be good, whether they go to the same team or they go to two different teams. Overtime again tonight Fantastic. Are you talking about, what are you talking about, Kia? Are we talking about this conversation? Because if so, we are definitely like in invested. What is the topic? Who is that? Grandmaster. Grandmaster. Oh, the topic is, oh well. The topic was Shiloh. Then we moved on to Kaden, who some of us are starting to wonder if he's gonna be the starter and how that's gonna work out. And I said he's gonna bring a Heisman back. Some people say he's gonna get us the Big 12 championship. Then we moved on to Carson Beck somehow in Miami. We moved on to Carson Beck, and now we're talking about Arch Manning, their quiet confidence of the family. We're talking about quarterbacks for next year, like who's going to be at the top next year. I say Kaden Salter is going to bring that Heisman back to Colorado. So that's where we are. It's a money grab. He was just barely getting $1 million at Georgia. Oh, really? That's him. Gunnar Stockton should start next year if they don't recruit someone. So they liked the Gunnar Stockton guy. They liked him. Okay. I need to go back and watch that. See, I thought Stockton played in that Georgia Tech 8 overtime game, but maybe it was Carson. I don't know. That was, people said that's when they realized Georgia wasn't good, or he wasn't good. Whoever played, they were like, he not good, because they in a dog fight, 8 overtimes with Georgia Tech. That's huge in Atlanta. That's like, oh, so Georgia's supposed to be like that. You're not like that if you struggling going OT to OT 8 times with Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech was good this year. They went to a bowl game. They went to like the Birmingham Bowl with somebody. I don't know. But that's good for Georgia Tech. This is I can see Georgia Tech right outside. It's a computer science. You have to have like a 4.0 GPA just to get in. It's like that. If you go to Georgia Tech, you're brainiac. And you clearly want to study computer science or something relative to it. And it's not cheap. Yeah. What was the topic? Oh, that was the topic. Okay. So it's a money grab. Okay. So y'all know we've been on here for 117 minutes. That's almost 2 hours. So we might as well be on here for 3 more minutes. So we can make it 2 hours official. That's crazy. I appreciate the moderators. Lisa was new to the chat. I hope everybody welcomed her. She might have left us by now. She probably like, they still on here talking? So yeah, when our chat starts, just turn it on and do whatever you got to do in your house. And just listen for somebody to call out your comment. Y'all have no idea. This is heartwarming for me. That people, actually stick to the topic, the conversation, the podcast. Like, this is huge for me. Y'all have no idea. When Carson goes down, let's see. All right. It says Stockton actually played and won the SEC. What? So the SEC championship game was UT versus Georgia, right? If so, you're saying Stockton played and won the game. Who started for UT when they lost? Did they start with Ewers and switch to Manning, or did Manning never play? Let me know if you know. Maybe Manning never got a chance to play. I don't know. See, that's why I think he left. I think he saw the writing on the wall. I think he saw the writing on the wall. I don't think it was about him being hurt and coming back just for one more year, because he wasn't hurt. And then, the 8 overtime thing, that's where the writing on the wall started to become clear. So to me, yeah, I agree, Gracie, money grab. Well, I just love y'all. I do. I just love y'all. So we are at 119 minutes. So I guess we're going to start saying our goodbyes. I appreciate the moderators. When we start again, you could just, if you want to be a moderator, just drop the M in the chat. I'll eventually see it and pass you the moderator tools. I appreciate y'all, because once y'all became moderators, all of that garbage, I don't even know what else to call it, because that's what it was. Those garbage like comments were gone. So I appreciate that. It says, I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Regina, thank you so much. Thank you. Kill us and you. This live is fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here and get me some food. Gracie, Kiel, Lisa, Queen T, Regina. I'm starting to know y'all's names, so when I see y'all, I get so excited because I recognize who you are. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. Queen T, Regina, Gracie, Lisa's new. She'll be back. She's in DC, and Kiel. Okay, y'all. So we got us a squad. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and say goodnight. We're at officially 120 minutes. So I'm gonna say goodnight. I will see y'all hopefully same time, same place tomorrow. If you can't make it tomorrow, we'll see you the next day. Thanks for watching What She Said.